before April Fool's Day. I don't know about you guys. I hate April Fool's Day. It is the worst day in the world. Oh, I hate April Fool's Day so much. My wife loves April Fool's Day. It's her favorite day. But she loves it in a way that it's like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I can't. I can't. I'm not. No. Tomorrow's April Fool's Day. Oh my God. It's like you have to be on your toes on April Fool's Day. Any little thing could be crazy on April Fool's Day. I hate April Fool's Day so much. April Fool's Day was fun when you're kids, but as an adult, April Fool's Day is not fun. It's, oh my God, no. Like tomorrow, I just want to skip all of tomorrow because usually what happens on April Fool's Day for me is my wife gets a bunch of props and literally it will be me trying to get a cup of coffee and the coffee's cold, or I'm walking around and there will be a spilled cup of, I don't know, juice on the floor, and I go down to pick it up, boom, it's resin. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. April Fool's Day is the worst. That's what tomorrow is. Who knows what's gonna happen? I don't know. What's your guys' experience with April Fools? April Fools when you were little was fun because you could do pranks. April Fool's Day as an adult, as you're just trying to like go throughout your day, is super annoying. What else is going on? So yeah, that's always fun to look forward to. Tomorrow's April Fool's Day, and the day after that is Liberation Day. So I love the name, by the way, Liberation Day. Oh, let's see what happens there. Let's see what was on the news that I found super interesting. Oh, DoorDash. I made a video about it earlier, but I guess I want to get more in depth into it because I found it hilarious that DoorDash is teaming up with Karna, and they're offering financing on DoorDashes now. So if you order DoorDash and your order is over $35, you can now pay, eat now, pay later. That's the slogan that they're going for, right? And when I saw this, the first thing I thought about was mukbang people. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh, I just thought about it. There's gonna be a whole industry now. Because you know the hardest part about mukbanging, right? If you guys don't know what mukbanging is, it's basically you just eat food in front of the camera, right? But the hardest part is actually getting the food and eating the food, and you know half the time they actually get rid of the food. But now with this new DoorDash layaway program, right? They can now get the food, film content, pay for the food later. Because here's the hardest part about doing any of those food contents, right? You have to pay for the food first, make a video, and hopefully your video pays for the food you get, right? But now you can get financing on the food. Imagine this, okay? This is gonna be like a mukbang like revolution at this point. You're gonna see lots of people doing food videos. Okay, you heard it here first. That's my prediction. Food videos are gonna go up because of this DoorDash thing. You're gonna see everyone's gonna be eating food everywhere because you can now get lending on your food. It's crazy. That's crazy. You know, like that's so crazy that you can now finance your burrito. It's like, $2. And it's like, I'm gonna save the rest for later. But yeah, you get financing on your food now. That's crazy. I mean, in their defense, I was reading the article more. In their defense, they were saying that most people pay with their credit cards anyways, and the idea is that if you're gonna put food on credit cards, might as well put food on financing. So you have 4 months to pay it off, zero interest, right? But this is where I'm saying those mukbang people, right? The hardest part is dishing out the money beforehand before you make a dollar. Now you can actually stretch that out. You could film like 80,000 food videos now in one day, right? Because that was the hardest part. You you spend like, I don't know, 50, 60, $100 on food, and then you film the content, and hopefully it'll pay itself back, and then you go buy more food, right? But now that you can finance it all, you can just buy food, film, put your fingers down your throat, and blah, and then get some more food and film some more. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy, or we're all gonna become Lizzos. That's it's what's gonna happen. What else is on the news? Let's see. Mr. Trumpy wants to run for a third term. Very interesting. I don't know if it's possible. We'll see. Because I feel like once you get one guy that wants to go for the third term, it's gotta set a precedence down the road that everyone wants to run for a third term, right? So that's good. That's an issue. You can't have him run for a third term. That's crazy. And then people are gonna be like, "Oh, if he runs for a third term, get Obama out." You think Obama wants to do another term? I don't think so. He's he's done those. But they're gonna be like, "Oh, get Obama out." I don't know. You guys know. Okay. Here's the thing. I was working in sales when Obama was president. Okay. And my job in sales was cold calling people from all over the country. I'll let you know this. People didn't like Obama as much as you think they did. Because every other person I remember calling, and they'd be like, "Oh, the Obama this and Obama that." So I don't know. I don't know if he has enough influence to win again, if Obama was to run. What do you guys think? Would you want Obama to run again? If Trump runs again, would you want Obama to run again? I don't know. They were saying Trump was saying that he could become president by having like JD Vance uh, run again, and then he'll be vice president. And once they get sworn in, JD Vance steps down, and then Trump will be president, right? That is, he could do that. I mean, that's what Putin did. I don't know if you guys know. Um, that's actually how Putin became president again, or prime minister, whatever they call it over there in Russia. He's been in power forever, right? And they technically also have term limits, I believe. I gotta look that up later. But I remember the story is that he served out his time, then another guy ran for president, and then he had Putin as the vice, and then that guy stepped down, and then Putin became president again. That's happened in Russia, so it's kind of possible. But at the same time, I don't know if you guys know this. There's a kind of a rule that anybody that is vice president has to be eligible to be president. It's like a rule in there because it's in the, I believe it's like some kind of bylaw in the rules that anyone that's running for vice president has to be eligible for president, because to avoid this issue that you of someone trying to get around this. So they already thought about this already. So technically, he could not run for a third term. But if nobody enforces anything, anything's possible. What else is going on in the world that I thought was super interesting? Let's see. I think a lot of people liked that when I was talking about random stuff my parents taught me, and I'm just trying to think what else did my parents teach me when I was little that when you grow up you're kind of like, what? I remember when I was growing up that we don't talk to our neighbors. That's the thing. When I was growing up, literally, the thought process was that we didn't talk to our neighbors because your neighbors are right next to you. They're more likely to snitch on you. And when I grew up later on, I realized that, hey, you actually want to be close to your neighbors, so if something happens, they'll help you out. But growing up, I remember my parents telling me, never talk to your neighbors. Don't tell them anything because they're more likely to snitch on you. Um, Hmm. Hmm. Yep, 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 yep. That's something my parents taught me. What else did my parents tell me that when I grew up, it was kind of like, what? What is that all about? I know I shared earlier the rock story, and I guess I want to elaborate this more. I guess everyone's like, they've never heard that. And I was thinking to myself, it made a lot of sense to me when I was growing up. Okay, it goes like this. My parents told me that I should not drive around with the windows down because if you drive with your windows down, if let's say a dealer is near you, right? Sometimes what they'll do is if they see like cops or law enforcement around them, what they'll do is they'll try to get rid of their stash. And one of the best ways, and to them it doesn't matter, right? Everyone say like, why would a dealer just throw away uh, their stash like that? It's either you get rid of your stash. Think about it. It's not that crazy, okay? You see it all the time. There are all those movies and whatnot. They're always trying to flush it down the toilet. It's no different than that. So what my parents told me is that you don't want to drive with your windows down because if they see police around and they get scared, what they'll do is they'll throw it inside your car and your car drives off with it. And then see, they just whoop and it's in your car and you drive off and boom, they're in the clear because then once the police stop them, they got nothing. And I remember in the comments, everyone was like, "That's crazy. Why would they ever do that? Why would they throw away?" You see, if I explain it more, does it not make more sense? You see it all the time. They're always trying to flush it down the toilet, right? I mean, half of Florida, like I feel like the sewers in Florida. Like, I wonder if inside Florida sewers, is there an alligator in the sewers, right? Because that's the other thing you hear, right? There's alligators and pythons and whatnot in the sewers, especially in Miami. Is there a sewer alligator in Miami that gets flushed down, the white powder, the good stuff, the oogly boogly, right? And they're just sitting there all crazy, all. You know how they made that movie? What was it like? The bear one. Why didn't they make an alligator one? And it's set in Miami. That makes way more sense, does it not? Anyways, I wonder now, right? Because I'm thinking about this. Is there an alligator, or maybe a whole family of alligators in Miami with big dilated eyes, all staying up all night, ready to party? Like that's because think about it. How much of that stuff must get flushed down the toilet every other day, right? It goes somewhere and it gets into the water. Are there fish that are all crazy too? That's a thought, right? So, anyways, yeah, when my parents told me about uh, a dealer throwing it into your open window, I don't feel like now I think about more about it. It's not that crazy, right? They're just trying to get rid of the product, and it actually makes a lot of sense. Your car's moving, they throw it in there, it drives away, they're clean. What else is going on? Or what else did my parents tell me that now that I grew up, I'm kind of like, ugh. Oh, I know one that was very interesting. Not very interesting, but I remember if you got sick, the remedy that, let's say you have a cough, the remedy was always drink some 7 Up. And it had to be 7 Up. Not any other soda. It had to be 7 Up. Literally, if you had a cough, they were like, oh, it's time to go get some 7 Up. Maybe it was like the can had limes on there. I don't know. That's another one. What else? It's always fun to think back on your childhood and the things that your parents tell you and like analyze it a little more. So that was one. If you get sick, drink some 7 Up. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, how about this one? If you read in the car while the car is going, you're gonna go blind. I remember my parents telling me that one a few times. I don't know if that's true or not. Who knows? What else? Hmm. I think that's it. I'm trying to figure out what else is in the news that I thought was very interesting. Let's see. I saw that they have this skyscraper that's in the sky, right? It's in London, in Nine Elms. That's the area. And it has a pool that stretches from one skyscraper to the other skyscraper on a see through pool. And the pool's in the air. And I was looking at this footage, right, of this pool. It was on the news. You can look it up. It's called the Sky Pool at the Nine Elms, right? And the pool is suspended in the air with glass or acrylic or something see-through. So now you're swimming and it's see-through and you're like in a skyscraper way up there. And they pan around and the news anchor is talking about it, right? And not one colored person in sight. And that made me laugh so much because I was thinking to myself, what an exclusive club. If you think about it, right? Not only it's in the air, right, high up there. So you got people that are afraid of heights, they're not gonna go up there. And then you gotta have people that want to swim. And then you gotta have people that swim well enough in the air. So you're shrinking the club so much. That's an exclusive club. I feel like maybe this is a hot take. You know the hooded guys, the bedsheet raiders, they should move their headquarters there. I don't know. I think this is funny. Okay, if you want an area that you're not gonna see anyone with some pigmentation, right? It's a pool that's in the sky, right? I don't know. I think that's it for today. I think that was pretty good. If the hooded riders, I don't even know if they're still a thing, but if they do have a thing, headquarters, they should move their headquarters to the sky pool, because you're not gonna you're not gonna find anyone else there. All right, see you guys later.